Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to get this pink starburst blended kind of look using the Alyssa Edwards palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So starting with my base, using the P. Louise eyeshadow base in the number 2 per usual. My go-to base. This is literally my favorite eyeshadow base that I've used so far. I know some people say they don't like it because they feel like they really have to pack on the shadow. But the thing is, with this base, what I found easiest is as long as the base is even all over your eye and completely blended in, you do not have to pack on the shadows really tough. So yeah, I definitely love it. I use a flat brush, the same flat brush I use to cut my creases and to conceal my brow. I use that flat brush to go ahead and pat that on there. I make sure that it's all patted on there really evenly. And then I use kind of like a blending brush, an eyeshadow blending brush from Real Techniques, and then I go around the edges just to make sure the edges of that base blend with the concealer that's under my eye flawlessly. Now going in with the Alyssa Edwards palette. Again, this is one of my favorite palettes. All of the colors are so pigmented, and I really didn't expect that from this palette, but it is very pigmented. And I'm going in with that darker pink shade. And as for right now, what I'm doing is kind of just packing that color onto my eye and then blending it out as I go. Just up until I get the consistency in the color that I want from it. Now, a thing about me with eyeshadows that I do notice, and I've always noticed, is I do not like when my eyeshadow goes all the way to my brow bone. So I do kind of try to leave some space in between my actual brow and then the eyeshadow. Now, I am taking a non-used blending brush and blending out the edges just to make the blend a little more effortless looking. So as you can see, I go back and forth with that Morphe 433 brush and then with that blending brush from Eco Tools without eyeshadow on it, and I go back and blend out the pink I just put on there. Now going in with my Juvias Place palette, there's a pink shimmer in there. It kind of has like gold sparkles in it, so I'm using that pink on top of the pink we just used from the Alyssa Edwards palette. So you may not be able to see the shimmer on camera, but off camera you could definitely see it. So that just kind of gave the look more of an intense kind of look with the shimmer and the gold specks that are in there. I'm going to just repeat what I did on one eye onto my next eye. So I did kind of mess up a little on this eye with the shaping and then the spacing in between my eyebrow. So I did go back in with the same brush I used to blend out my concealer under my eyebrow, and I went to just blend out that eyeshadow that had gotten a little closer to the brow bone. Alright, now going in with my eyelashes. I am using lashes from 7 Cosmetics. I'll make sure in the description bar I do link the Instagram down. It is my best friend's lash line, so her lashes are literally the only lashes I use. I use them on myself and then as well as on my clients. So definitely I'll link that below and make sure you shop 7 Cosmetics. So just prepping my real eyelashes with that L'Oreal Voluminous Telescopic Mascara. And I made sure I put the glue on the lashes off camera so I could just stick them on once on camera. Now, the lash glue I was using for this video, I was having some problems with because it was kind of like an experiment. I'm using the dual lash glue, the white one. It's in like a white and green bottle. So not usually the lash glue that I use. I usually use the Kiss lash glue, the long lasting. It's in a black bottle and the glue itself is black. But I did want to try this glue because I was told that it was a really good glue. But again, I don't favor it because I was having some problems getting my lash on. I actually had to take one of them off and redo them because it would not, for any reason, this lash glue just would not stick. So I had to go on and use the glue on the eye method, which made it a little easier. So with that method, I usually only use the glue on the eye method if I'm doing like a wing, because then the glue kind of just blends in, because again, my glue is black, so I can't just be putting black lash glue on any of my looks. So being that this one was white, I was able to just go ahead, put it on my eye, and then pop that lash onto my eye. Now moving on to skin. So you know, skin's already prepped, it's been washed and moisturized, so I'm going in with that Milk Hydrogrip primer. So again, one of my all-time favorite primers. I know I say a lot of things are my all-time favorites, but I really will not use a product if I don't like it. So a lot of the products that you do see me use, I will definitely keep saying it's my favorite because I have to like it in order for it to be in a video. So now just setting that primer. So when I set, being that I have oily skin, I'll set under my eyes, my T-zone, and then sometimes around my mouth and chin area. Now to color correct, so using the black Radiance color correcting palette, I'm going to take that darker orange and I'm going to start on my chin because I do have some dark marks on my chin. I don't go crazy when I color correct, so I'll do like my chin, under my eyes, and then any dark marks on my face that I see. And I just go in with a regular, you know, just a regular everyday eyeshadow brush. And I just kind of blend that in. Now going over it one more time to make sure it's really blended with my damp beauty blender. Now moving on to foundation. Now today I'm using the Estée Lauder DoubleWear out of all of my foundations. This is my go-to all the time. It's for oily skin, it's the best foundation I found for us so far. So between the Estee Lauder that I'm using right now and the Kat Von D Locket foundation, those two honestly are the only foundations I found that personally keep me from getting super oily by the end of the day. Like, I've tried about every foundation that you can think of. I promise you, those two are the only ones. I've used drugstore and high-end foundations, and the Estee Lauder is definitely my favorite. Now, I don't always use it because it does not always match my skin tone. During the summertime, it's hard to find the exact Estee Lauder shade for me, being that I do darken. I mean, they have a good range of shades, but it's still kind of hard to find my exact color, you know, my color and undertone, so that I don't look stupid by the end of the day. But just going in with that Estee Lauder DoubleWear and patting that in with my flat face brush that I got from Eco Tools. And I did spray a little of the Urban Decay setting spray, the all-nighter setting spray on the brush before I did start to pat on my foundation. Now, when patting in my foundation, I do make sure it's extremely blended. Now, for concealer, today I am going to basically double conceal, because this is going to be a really full coverage look today. So I'm using both my Bobbi Brown concealer in the color Chestnut, as well as my Tom Ford concealer in the color Chestnut. So I know they're the same color, so shouldn't they give the same effect? They don't. The Tom Ford Chestnut is a little lighter than the Bobbi Brown concealer, so it does give me a lighter kind of highlight. So I use the Tom Ford concealer on my nose, forehead, and chin, and then the Bobbi Brown under my eyes, and then I topped it with the Tom Ford. So when I do blend out my concealer, I do always try to start with the nose, forehead, and chin, and then move on to under the eye, just so that under the eye has a second to like dry down a little bit. The Bobbi Brown concealer is kind of tacky already, but it's just with that Tom Ford, it is very liquidy. It's more of a liquid, so it does take some time to dry down and get tacky to give me that full coverage kind of look I'm going for. And then once I blended it down most of the way with my damp blending brush, I then go in with my Real Techniques brush and blend under my eye, just to give me, you know, the best kind of blend, so there's no creasing or anything. So again, with that black Opal setting powder in the color Translucent, I'm going to press that into my skin. Make sure all the makeup is pressed in there so it does not budge. Now going in with my terracotta setting powder from Makeup Revolution just to double set. I'm going to let that terracotta sit under my eye while I finish the rest of my face. Now, being that I will be outside today, I really wanted to not use a lot of creams. I wanted to mainly use powders just to keep my skin from oiling up on me. So for my contour, I'm not going to use a contour cream. I'm going to use eyeshadow from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. I believe it is the second or third brown at the bottom to the right. Being that their eyeshadows are so creamy, it does make it an easy contour tool because you won't find a lot of creamy dark contour powders or really creams in general. Contour in general, you don't find a lot of dark contours. So I have broadened my horizons. I've seen what I like the best. So I've been kind of using eyeshadows. I have used a few contour palettes that have had shades dark enough for me, but it's very rare. I was really obsessed with a contour palette that Ulta sold when I was working there, but they did discontinue it. So since then, I've really been using eyeshadow. So then after I contour with the eyeshadow, I'm going to go in with that Juvia's Place blush palette and using I kind of mixed the darker and lighter red shade just to give me that kind of sun-kissed kind of look. Now when I am blending that, I do use two different brushes. So I use one brush to pack on the product and kind of push the product around, and then I use more of a softer blending brush to blend them into each other and into my skin. So now going back in with that black Opal translucent setting powder, I'm just going to carve under my contour just to give me that sharp jawbone kind of look. Because who doesn't want a sharp jawbone? Like, sis, you do not want to look like a pancake. That's the purpose of the contour. So now I'm going to dust off that terracotta powder under my eye. I do like to use this one because it does, bring out my golden kind of under eye. And then after I dust all of that off my face, I do use my foundation brush and then push in any extra product into my skin. Now for contour, again, using that eyeshadow, the same eyeshadow I used to contour my cheekbones. I'm going to kind of go along the bridge of my nose and blend that in. And then I use my damp blending brush again and blend it into my nose, so it doesn't give you that hard contour line that you do see sometimes when it's not blended correctly. I just want to make sure that everything is blended to perfection, so it literally looks like skin. Now dusting off the excess powder under my contour. And now I'll go with that Urban Decay setting spray. And I literally drench myself in setting spray. just to make sure. And when I do drench myself, I do make sure I avoid my eyes at all costs. Because you do not want that setting spray to mess up that eyeshadow. Now going under my eye with the pink from the Alyssa Edwards palette. I'm gonna smoke that out under my eye. So when it comes to under my eye, I'm not really a person that likes a lot of basically like eyeliner. I really don't like to put eyeliner under my eye because one of my eyes does so fine and then the other one always tends to water, so I just rather not. So I always try to just smoke it out with eyeshadow if possible. I mean, there's some looks where I literally have to use eyeshadow for it to look right. Not eyeshadow, but eyeliner for it to look right. But with this pink look, thankfully I was able to just use pink. Now after getting that eyeshadow smoked out under my eye, I then go in with that L'Oreal mascara once again and go towards my bottom lashes this time, just to bring them out and make them pop a little bit. So look's almost done. Just going to lips. So when I do my nude kind of lip look, I love to use concealer for my brown lip liner because it blends so effortlessly. I've used pencils, but the pencils don't blend as easy as, you know, brown concealer does. And then I'm going to top it off with some Fenty lip gloss. I'll link the shade down below because I don't have that exact shade sitting in front of me. And then for highlighter, using my Glow Up Academy highlighter from Kiki Adams in the shade Glow Sis. Sis, look at that highlighter. Like, the thing I love about this highlighter is that it does not take much. You will literally have this highlighter forever because it does not take much to give you that highlighted from within look. Sis, look at that. Yes. And that's it. That's the look. I just took the doors, all the guinea, now I'm riding and I'm sliding in the sideways, now she call me her side. Rich nigga shit about my daddy, your new paddock. Got a model, got a think he got a BM, got a stallion, got a $1 billion corporation for Kazani. I got millions to go get in a couple bitches to yeah. You my dog till we dead, not a question, but I can't fuck with you like I want, cause you ready. Got $1 million in the wall in the bed, and got it stepped on, got it hard, got it cracking on her. $500,000, I just did a warm up for $500,000. I can buy the building.